Have you ever thought about what your mother gave up for you? Have you ever noticed that she stayed hungry so you could eat? Today, I'm going to tell you a story that will bring tears to your eyes. This is the story of an old mother living in Washington, D.C. She had one small son, David. But this isn't just a story about a mother and son. This is a story about silent sacrifices, the kind every mother makes, but nobody sees. If you love your mother, you must watch this story until the very end. In a small apartment in Washington, D.C., lived 68-year-old Margaret with her 12-year-old son, David. Margaret's back was bent, her hands trembled, and her face carried the lines of life's hardships. David's father had left them when he was just 2 years old. From that day forward, Margaret raised David alone. Science tells us there's a special bond between mother and child called the oxytocin bond. When a mother looks at her child, happiness hormones release in her brain. But alongside that, a mother also feels every pain her child experiences. Margaret woke up at 5 a.m. every morning. Despite her aching knees, she made breakfast for David. Pancakes, eggs, juice, everything fresh, everything made with love. When David sat down to eat, Margaret would only have toast. "Mom, why do you eat so little?" David asked one day. Margaret smiled and replied, "I don't have much appetite, son. You eat. You need strength for school." But the truth was that Margaret spent so much on her medicines and David's education that nothing was left for herself. David loved playing football. One day, his friends bought new football shoes. "Mom, I need new shoes too," David said. Margaret checked her savings. Only $150. This money was for next month's electricity bill. She thought for a moment, then smiled. "Yes, son, we'll go buy them tomorrow." The next day, they bought $120 shoes. David was so happy. But that night, when the electricity bill came, and Margaret didn't have money, she sold an old chain. This chain was given to her by her own mother. David never found out. Psychology experts say that parents sacrifice their own happiness so their children can be happy. This is called self-sacrifice parenting. But the danger is that children never understand how big these sacrifices truly are. As David grew older, his life filled with friends, games, and social media. Talking to his mother became less frequent. "David, shall we have dinner together tonight?" Margaret asked. "Mom, I'm going out with friends." "I'll eat later." Margaret ate dinner alone. At the table, there was silence, only the ticking of the clock. One day, David's friends teased him about the new iPhone. "You still have that old phone?" they mocked. David felt embarrassed. He came home angry. "Mom, I need a new phone." "All my friends have one." Margaret looked at him with tired eyes. "Son, I don't have the money right now. Wait a few months." "You never want me to be happy," David shouted and stormed into his room. Tears filled Margaret's eyes. That night, she reduced her medicine dosage to save money. For the next 3 months, at 70 years old, she worked overtime, doing cleaning jobs, and then one day, she gave David that iPhone. "Here you go, son, your new phone." David happily took the phone, but he didn't even say thank you properly. He immediately got busy, messaging his friends. Margaret smiled quietly, but her heart was breaking. A few weeks later, Margaret's health began deteriorating. Her face turned pale. She started losing weight. "Mom, are you okay?" David asked one day, but without real attention. "Yes, son, just a little tired." But in reality, Margaret's diabetes was worsening. She had reduced her medications to buy David's phone. One morning, David was getting ready for school. He called for his mother. "Mom, my breakfast?" No answer. "Mom?" David peeked into his mother's room. Margaret was lying unconscious, on the floor. "Mom! Mom!" David screamed. An ambulance was called. At the hospital, the doctor spoke to David with a serious face. "Your mother's condition is very critical. Her blood sugar is extremely high, and it appears she hasn't been taking her medications properly for months." David's heart sank. "Why? Why didn't she take her medicine?" The doctor looked at a note. Her insurance didn't cover some medications. She had to pay out of pocket. In that moment, David understood everything. That new phone, those shoes, All those clothes, toys, everything. Mom had sacrificed her health. David sat beside his mother's hospital bed. Margaret's eyes slowly opened. "Son," she said in a weak voice. Tears began streaming down David's face. "Mom, forgive me. I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention." In psychology, there's a theory called emotional blindness. When we become lost in our own desires, we fail to see the pain of those closest to us. David learned this lesson at a terrible price. Why did Mom never complain? Margaret held his hand. "Because your happiness is my happiness, son. A mother's love is unconditional. But I never made you happy. I only took, never gave. You're my son, David. Your existence is everything to me." David's heart shattered. He had misunderstood his entire life. Doctors began treating Margaret. David sold everything. His new phone, shoes, all his things, for his mother's treatment, and for the first time, he understood what real love means. Margaret slowly began improving, and David changed. Now he woke up early, in the morning, made breakfast for his mother, gave her medicines on time, sat with her, and talked. One day, Margaret placed her hand on his head. "Son, you've changed." David smiled and said, "No, Mom. I've just learned to see. If you're watching this story, go hug your mother today. Tell her you love her. Remember, your mother has made millions of silent sacrifices in her life. Those nights when you were sick and she stayed awake. Those meals she didn't eat, so you could have them. Science says a mother works more than 50,000 hours for her child, without salary, without thanks. So today, right now, call your mother, talk to her, and say, 'Mom, I love you,' because tomorrow might be too late." If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, and definitely show this story to your mother. God bless you, and never forget to love your mother.